Well,
I just want to say, maybe Baker be a little better if he bulked up with some Built Bars.
No doubt.
50%
Yeah,
off.
no
Use
doubt.
Promo code LOCKDOWN15. Anyone could eat them. They're delicious. They taste great. And if you use promo code LOCKDOWN15, you get 15% off at Built.com. Built Bars, our favorite power bar. Okay, today's top 5 was inspired by the World Cup game. I'm sure we all watched the finale. It was unbelievable, and it made us start thinking, and I had a conversation with Anthony and Earl, what are the best championship games ever?
Very hard
And
to
I
call
know,
these.
very hard category. I already don't like my list.
Yeah.
I already don't like
Oh,
it.
we're
We
gonna
hate
kill
it in
you.
advance, too.
Because I did not have the UNC Villanova.
Well, don't tell us. Don't give it away. Come
Well,
on.
I'm giving you one that's not in the top 5.
We wanna yell
this
at you
should have
about
been
it
on top
later.
5. In hindsight, I missed this one. So UNC Villanova, Jay, you brought this up pre-show. That's a big miss on
That's
my
a
part.
terrible-
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I
you
can't
guys.
believe you left that out. I thought for sure you'd go there because of your college
I
basketball
know.
love.
It just didn't come to my mind. So here's what we have. The way I evaluated this too, by the way, star players in big games playing their best. Like that to me makes a championship game elevate to that next level. So that's why I went with this at number 5. Game 7 of the World Series, 2001. Luis Gonzalez off Mariano Rivera, the walk-off single. The Yankees went up 2-1 in the 8th. Then they collapsed. The greatest closer in the history of baseball gives up the walk-off. That hurt.
I'm
Phenomenal
okay
game.
with that. Are you okay with that? Because of the unlikelihood of Mariano
Yes.
blowing a save.
I am. That was great. And as all Yankee haters, we celebrated that.
I was going nuts. It was almost as good as if the Indians had
Man,
won.
it's so I don't understand it. Like I'd be in anguish. Like, how is it that these expansion teams
I know.
just get in the
It was
league
their 4th year.
Yeah.
4th year in the league.
and then win?
Yeah.
We've been waiting for how many years?
I know.
It's
Stings a little.
crazy.
I was when I was leaving the Marlins Indians game 7. I've never ever had the desire to injure a woman physically. Ever in my
this
life.
is a mighty-
Not
out
even
of
my
the
Are you
sister.
sure you want to continue?
Yes, not even my sister. Because
Let's get
my
legal in
dad
here.
told me if you ever lay hands on your sister,
we get
it'll
legal?
be the last thing you do. Because she was she antagonized me.
Right.
And I took it.
Sure.
We're leaving. I'm on deadline. I've got to file a report. I've got a live hit coming. I'm leaving, and the group in front of me was, let me just explain in this way. They were Thurston Howell the third and
Okay.
Lovey.
Yeah.
And it was a group of very well-to-do, out of touch,
Florida 1%ers.
the shoulder, the sweater,
Ascots.
the
Muffy.
sweater ties.
Yeah.
Lovey, what an experience this evening. And the woman in front of me said, if I knew baseball was this exciting, I would have gone to my first game a long time ago. This was game 7.
That was their
Honey,
first
we're
game.
going to
Not a
have
bad,
to
not
come
a
back
bad
for a
place to
game or
start.
2 next season.
Wow.
Had it been a man that said that, I would have missed my deadline and it probably would have been taken to jail.
Yeah, probably.
I was seething like I'd never been seething before. Now, it was a hired team. The Marlins were, the baseball's newest franchise at that
Yep.
time. And they literally just paid for the championship. That's what they did. Mm-hmm. And all those guys, they let them all go, and the next year they lost 100 games.
It was crazy. And then just a couple of years later, the Diamondbacks win.
Yeah.
It's just like
4 years later.
And then the Rockies went to the World Series. I think a little bit I think when did year the Rockies go? Was that
The
late?
forget.
Rockies,
Oh, they got slaughtered by the Red Sox.
the year
that we-
2007.
We was up 3-0.
That should have been our World Series.
I actually thought I wasn't here yet, but I remember thinking, oh, the Indians are going to win the World Series this year.
'Cause we can
I had
slaughter
always,
Colorado.
I had rooted for the Indians, obviously against the Marlins.
And the Diamondbacks and the Rockies played in the NLCS, and it was
Yeah.
a foregone conclusion.
The American League team was going to
Whoever
win.
wins the American
Yeah.
League, that's the World
That's it.
Series.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yep.
And they blew the 3-1 lead, and the rest is
But
history.
thanks for reminding us.
By the way, my only beef I'll get to my beef with the Yankees Diamondbacks, even though it's a great choice. But go ahead.
All right. I told you I don't love the list. This should be higher, in my opinion. Now I'm looking at it. The 2006 Rose Bowl, USC, Texas, Vince Young to come back.
One for the ages.
Back and forth. Unbelievable. That was the peak of college football. The next 3 are great, but I think this should have been higher in hindsight.
Pete Carroll allowed that to happen when he went for it on 4th and 1 around midfield instead of either punting. But even if you want to go for it, I get it, even though Vince Young's on the other side. I'll never forget the image just before the play
Lendell
was
White.
run is Pete Carroll on the sidelines with his Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Bush standing
Yeah.
right next to him.
He tried. He was so see.
He lost the Super Bowl trying to be the smartest guy in the
That
league,
whole year, they was trying to make it like Lendell White was an equal No, he was not. You could have gave me them carries, and I'd have got like 400 for the year.
But why? Because Reggie White was attracting so much attention. So when you need a half a yard to not have Reggie, okay, you don't want to give Reggie White the ball. You want to go with your power back, Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
You want to give it to your power back. I get that.
Yeah.
But Reggie Bush has got to be on the field
know,
if for
crazy.
no other reason to attract attention away from Lendell White.
Isn't it shocking that, I mean, Reggie Bush was a decent NFL player, but I thought he was going to be phenomenal.
He had some injuries, but he had some good seasons.
He had some good seasons, but he was never a star in the NFL.
He was one of the best. He had to be one of the best running backs.
You remember that spin
I've
movie?
ever seen.
You remember that spin movie he had at USC? I think it was against Fresno State. It was unbelievable.
He was otherworldly
And Vince
fast.
Young was nothing in the
He was
NFL.
otherworldly.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. It's been a real rough few days here for Matt Ryan, and that's where number 3 comes in. 28-3. Symbolic putting him at number 3 here. The best comeback in Super Bowl history. Tom Brady, the GOAT. The only issue, the reason this isn't higher, was once the onslaught happened, it was one-sided, then it was the other sided. There was never the back and forth of the game. It was a Falcons blowout, then
it was
a
like
Patriots
I don't like
blowout.
that
It
one.
was like the Colts and the Vikings.
Coaching.
It was 2 games.
Matters. Coaching matters. When you up 28-3, you supposed to have, and this is why I don't like when NFL teams take knees and don't play all the way through the fourth quarter. Don't, like, if another coach gonna get mad at you because your team is out here putting more points on them, so what? They get paid, they grown men, who cares?
Yeah.
Because that conditions your team to say, I'm gonna play as hard as I can to score as much as I can. So if you get up 28-3, guess what? We want another 28.
Yeah.
And think about all you need is a couple points.
Couple first downs.
Couple first downs.
That's it.
I remember the inevitability of that game and just feeling like he was Jason Voorhees. Tom Brady was in that one. He just kept getting back up.
I don't like that choice.
Or Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, number 2, maybe a little recency bias, but the 2 best players in the world going at it. 2 goals each. Messi the game winner. Then it goes to PKs. Well, yeah, 4 goals between the 2. Mbappe's second goal was one of the greatest strikes
Cut
of
to the
all
look
time.
on Bull's face right now.
Yeah.
Bull, you
Hey,
even said
Bull's the one that
made
said it
Bull,
yesterday.
I loved it.
It was a great game.
Bull
I
said
did
the-
enjoy watching it, but
Number 2,
Go ahead,
though,
say it. It's soccer.
still soccer. I mean,
It's still soccer.
It was riveting.
Hashtag
man.
it was
it's
great.
still
I
soccer.
enjoyed it, but I'm going to go back to
Mbappe's
ignoring
4
soccer
goals.
again.
But you know what? I
I'm
know
not
we
watching
are.
Championship
But what's
League
funny,
and all these
Bull,
other leagues.
is hearing you talk about it
I was
yesterday, I'm
excited
like,
that
wow,
day.
that's exactly the way I feel.
It was
And here's
exciting.
what that game was able to do.
Yeah.
Take people that give a rat's ass about a sport and make us watch.
Yeah.
But-
like, we all love football, so
Yes.
we're going to watch that no matter
Yep.
what. But the soccer thing, I wanted it to be a bad game when I turned it on with 60 minutes in, so I could say, shit, I don't have to watch it. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
But it was, as soon as I turned it on, they got the penalty kick, and 2 minutes later, they tied it at 2-2. And I'm like,
That
oh,
second
now
goal
I'm
was
hooked.
all
It
time,
was
and you had 2 of the
riveting.
best players ever.
Ever.
It
at
was
the peak of their powers.
It was riveting, and that was a cool part of it. I think it's lame that they end the game on penalty kicks. I know there's a lot of pressure,
But
but I
that's
do
a
think
problem
that's
you
lame.
have with the sport,
And
not with the game itself.
That's true.
Mikey,
Fair
one of the
enough.
best
The only
5
way the
championships.
match could have been better for me was if it came down to the last kicker in the penalty kick.
Agreed.
Because
Right.
France had missed 2,
Yeah, it was
It was
over.
over
Yeah, yeah,
prematurely.
yeah.
I wanted it to come down to that 5th kicker.
Yeah.
What if someone told you right now that you had to watch that entire championship game again
I
right
wouldn't.
now, though?
I
Would you want to
would
watch
not.
it right now? No.
But you know what?
Like sit through the whole
That's
thing.
a good measure of
Yeah.
it.
But you know what, though? In fairness, I never went back and watched Game 7 of the 2016 World Series.
Me either.
All right, we got number 1 before it has this one.
And you had
It's
reason
not a
to.
homer pick. I do truly believe this is the best Game 7 in sports history. The block, the shot, however you
that's
want to
just-
dice it down. The Cavs beating the Warriors in 2016.
Could be a homer pick, but I'll take it.
I'll take it too.
No,
I
I
mean-
truly believe it is.
That's a great choice. Definitely, I know it's sucked for 99.9% of the people watching right now, but Game 7, Cubs-Indians.
You're really going to do this? You're going to say
It
that
was
was
the-
one of the best championships of all time?
Well,
Of
listen
course
to
it was.
the
Bull, you have
Well, you have 30
criterion
seconds
for
to
it.
make your point before we bring Has
I'm
in,
with
and he'll
Bull,
dispute
but
you.
It
but
was
30
first of all,
seconds.
you had the 2 teams with the longest drought in the history of sports.
The drama was unbelievable.
Okay.
And one of the managers involved had ended one of the previous longest droughts in the history
you
of
had
sports.
these 2 great managers.
Yeah.
It was a David and Goliath. The Cubs were like huge favorites that year. They had a great team. The Indians had a good team, but they were a better team the following year. Yeah. But plus they had lost their whole pitching staff.
They got hot at the right time.
You basically had like Kluber and Andrew Miller carrying the entire pitching staff on their back.
What would have made it the best is if they would have won. Because the Goliath wins, you can't call it one of the best of all time when Goliath wins.
Well, it was in that matchup, but the Cubs had been losers forever. And the drama of that game, because early the Cubs got off to the great start. Kluber was shot.
It looked like the game was over until Rajay hit the home run in the 8th.
And for Rajay Davis to hit a home run against Aroldis Chapman has got to be one of the most, in that spot, one of the most unlikely things I've ever seen on a baseball field.